Okay, so UFC Nashville is coming our way this Saturday. Would you like to go through the entire card without spending 2 hours of your day watching somebody talk about a fight card? Well, this is the video for you. I'm going to go through the entire fight card. This is what I like to call a casuals guide. I am Burt Green, and this is the casuals guide to UFC Nashville. Effectively, it's just quick hits, run through bits of information on every single fight. I make a pick, make we will of that, because they're often very, very wrong. Because look, you can't be expected to know everybody that's that's in the prelims, everybody all up and down the card, because people talk about casuals like it's a bad thing. Look, casual fans have a life, guys. Do you know what I mean? That should be the main comeback. It's like, yeah, I am a casual fan of mixed martial arts. I have a life, right? Fortunately for you, I do not have a life, so I've had time to go through this. So let's take a look at UFC Nashville. So we're going to start off in the flyweight division. Ode Osbourne taking on Asu Almabayev. Okay, so Ode Osbourne, he's a good fun flyweight to watch. I really do like him. He's got good striking, big explosive movements, lots of kicks, and he's very, very slick. You've got to watch for those knees as well. Almabayev, he's another one from Kazakhstan. He's another killer. He's not 0-0. The UFC stat makers get this wrong all the time. He isn't 0-0. He's 17-2 with 11 finishes. He has a very good back take, a very good rear naked choke, which is where I see this one going, honestly. The chokes of Almabayev, they do concern me. And you've got all these killers coming out of Kazakhstan right now. You know, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and there was another fella, I think he was at bantamweight. But either way, lots of good, talented fighters coming out of Kazakhstan at the moment. Cody Durden then takes on Jake Hadley in the flyweight division. 5'7", plays 5'7", 3-inch reach for Durden. Now Durden, he's a pretty well-rounded fighter who's been quietly making his way into the rankings at flyweight. He has a decent double leg, and he does mix that in with the kickboxing very, very well. Now Hadley, he was a killer at Cage Warriors. He's the English fella. He's been doing really well for himself. I'm quite a big fan, if I'm honest. He's quite big for the weight class. But he's still young enough to make the weight, no problem. I don't know if he's going to be making that weight later on in his career, because he's quite a big guy, honestly. He always looks like he's the bigger dude. He's got excellent grappling, very good boxing, good kicks. He's really coming into his own. The body shot that he landed against Malcolm Gordon was absolutely perfect. Picture perfect. Lovely stuff. Hadley by submission for me, although I must say I am biased because obviously I'm English. And I do generally, pick the English fighters in these, unless there's a real mismatch. You've got Sean Woodson taking on Jesse Butler in the 145-pound division. 6'2", plays 5'10", with a 5-inch reach for Woodson. You can see why. He's all arms and legs with a tiny torso. It's a little bit weird. He's 6'2". Look, he's a giant for featherweight. That is crazy. He's got an odd build. He kind of reminds me of Dr. Robotnik. Do you know what I mean? It's just like he's got this tiny little torso, and he's just got all arms and legs. He's very gangly, but look, it works for him, honestly. He's got a weird striking style that's hard to get a read on, and he goes for weird submissions. I'm pretty sure he went for a buggy choke in one of his fights. I might be misremembering that. He's got long arms, so look, he can get those kind of chokes from weird positions. Watch out for guillotines, etc. Jesse Butler, he has probably the best facial hair in MMA since Eddie Wineland. So let's just hope that his fighting style is slightly a little better than Wineland's, because Wineland didn't do well, especially later on in his career. He did get KO'd by Jim Miller just 2 months ago. I am a little bit surprised that he's back so soon, because that was quite a nasty knockout, if I remember it correctly. Woodson, he presents weird angles, and he has a 5-inch reach. I'm going to take Woodson here, probably by decision. Jeremiah Wells then takes on Carlston Harris, 170 pounders, welterweights. So he's 5'9", plays 6 foot, 2-inch reach for Harris. Wells is someone that I really like. He looks monstrous. That always helps, right? He looks like a fighter. that's the first step, right? He's a BJJ black belt. He fought Wellington Turman in his debut, and he looked really, really good. Wellington Turman is quite an established fighter, so that just shows what the UFC kind of thought quite highly. Jeremiah Wells, he knocked out Court McGee as well. He's pretty legit. Nobody in the UFC has managed to beat him yet, so we're going to see. Harris, he seems pretty good. I remember him for the wrong reason, though. I do remember Shavkat. Do you remember Shavkat Rakhmonov on his way up? He did like a real nice spinning back kick and knocked the dude, spinning hook kick, knocked the dude out. The dude he knocked out was Carlston Harris. So look, no shame in getting like flatlined by Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's probably the best 170 pounder in the world, in my humble opinion. I do think in this one, Wells is probably slightly more dangerous. I think on the ground, he probably has a big advantage. I will take Wells by submission in this one. Kyler Phillips takes on Raoni Barcelos in the 135-pound division. So 5'8", plays 5'7", 5-inch reach for Phillips. Now, Kyler Phillips, he's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a bloody long time, and he's a Carlson Gracie brown belt. That's pretty legit. He's also won some judo competitions, and you know what we say here at the Burt Locker: if you've got judo and you've got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you are probably hard as nails. And you know what he probably is? He's got good kickboxing as well. He got a good head kick knockout at LFA 59, which is, you know, he's really got elements of all the games. So Barcelos, he's a good fighter, fighting out of Brazil. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he's often scores knockouts. He's got a patchy record in the UFC. He's coming off a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. No shame there, really. These guys, they do have similar skill sets, honestly, but stacking up their resumes with that win over Phillips and over Song Yadong, he's younger as well. I'm going to take Phillips as well, because he did get that. That was something I forgot to mention. He beat Song Yadong, and that's hard to do. So if he can beat Song Yadong, I do think he can probably beat Raoni Barcelos, but it should be a good fight, that one. Billy Quarantillo takes on Damon Jackson. That's in the prelim headliner, 145-pound division. So 5'10", plays 5'11", with a 1-inch reach for Jackson. Now, Quarantillo, he's a very slick submission guy, and he's got good hands as well. Often, it's the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that gets him going. He is a black belt. It often frees up the striking for him as well. He's coming off a loss to Edson Barbosa, who Barbosa just seemed to turn back the clock and caught him with a massive knee and sent him to the shadow realm. But you get... There's a chance you're going to get caught against guys like Barbosa. It's just going to happen once in a while, isn't it? Damon Jackson, I call him GTA Trevor because he looks like Trevor from GTA for me. I don't know, there's something in the face. I think it's his crazy eyes. He's got this maniacal look in his eyes. He looks like he might, you know, pull out a switchblade and then smoke some meth. I don't know. It's just, all jokes aside, he is very good. He's really well-rounded. He's got loads of submissions, mostly on the regional scene, but anyone stacking up 15 submissions on their record in MMA is pretty good at doing submissions, at least. I thought his striking was solid until he got his clock cleaned by Dan Ige, but look, his striking is good, but probably just not on Dan Ige's level is what I would say. Ige is very, very good at striking. Look, he's Damon Jackson, he's big, he's physical, he's durable, he has skills in every area. It's a tough one to pick. I'm going to take Damon Jackson, although honestly both of these guys are dangerous everywhere. I'm picking Damon Jackson purely because I like him because of the Trevor GTA thing. That's as good a reason as any to put some money down. Anyway, we're going to move on to the main card. Don't forget to subscribe to this because it will let you know when I've got my other videos out. We always have a good time here. It's all about having fun, picking fights, talking fights. That's what I'm all about. So hit subscribe and just be a part of it. Thank you. Ignacio Barra-Mendez takes on Ludovic Klein, Slovakia. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these. 155-pound division. 6'3", plays 5'7", with a 2.5-inch each for Barra-Mendez. Now, Barra-Mendez, he's very big for 155. He's missed weight before. His first fight is always with the scale. He's a pretty big 155er, 6'3". So anyway, skill-wise, he's very slick. Great kickboxing. His low leg kicks especially good. 9 out of 14 by knockout as well. He is very legit. Klein is the guy that landed 3 groin strikes against Jai Herbert. And so we know that he can strike the groin. Oh, come on, man. Look, 3 times in a fight. Everybody gets 1, but don't get greedy, man, because the referee's going to have to call that. So yeah, I think he got a point taken on that one. So I think it ended in a draw. I can't even remember. Anyway, he also beat Mason Jones, who I rate quite highly. He's the guy coming out of Wales. He's got 16 finishes. He's pretty dangerous, to be fair, and he's beaten some good people. So, look, I like Barra-Mendez here, as long as he makes weight. I think he is going to be huge, and he's going to use his reach well. His kickboxing's very good. I think as long as he makes weight, Barra-Mendez is probably going to win that one. Tanner Boser taking on Alexa Kamur. Alexa Kamur. This one's at 205. It's a bit weird. So, anyway, 6'2", plays 6'1", with a 1.5-inch reach for Tanner Boser. Now, we've got a new mythical fighter here. 205-pound Bosa, you've got Blom Brunson, you've got Derek Lewis with abs. Only this is the opposite of kind of what those guys. They're famous for not getting beaten, whereas Tanner Bosa just can't seem to buy a win at the moment. Look, I like his style. He's hard hitting. He puts his head down. He bites down the mouthpiece. He throws, but man, does he get beaten a lot. So it's worrying. He got knocked out by Ion Cutelaba, but that's because he played the Ion Cutelaba game. Yeah, he's on a rough run. Kamur, he's got a really nice flying knee on the Dana White Contender Series. I do remember that. But he's gone off the boil since then, honestly. I haven't really seen him do much since then. He lost to William Knight by decision. William Knight, after the first round, is a human punching bag. He's got no cardio at all. How do you lose to that man by decision? Come on. I understand getting knocked out in the first round by William Knight, because William Knight is a monstrous human being with lots of power in the first round. Outside of that, just kick him and stay away from him. Do you know what I mean? The book has been written. I'm not surprised to see anyone getting knocked out by William Knight, but I am surprised to see William Knight winning a decision against anybody, honestly. Anyway, this could be a loser goes home match, honestly. Bosa, I do like it 205. Oh, look, I'm going to take Bosa, not because I think he'll win, but because I want him to win. I kind of like him. I like having him in the UFC. If he gets beaten here, he's probably, for the glue factory if he was a horse. Anyway, Diego Lopez takes on Gavin Tucker in the 145-pound division. 5'11", plays 5'6", 6.5-inch reach for Lopez. Now Lopez, he had a lot of success in LUX fighting. He's pretty good. He will finish it on the feet, and he does get submissions off his back as well. He's good at countering the inside leg kick with the overhand right. He's very, very effective with that. That's something that I watched his highlights, and it seems to be something that he goes back to quite a lot. Whenever he's getting kicked, especially on the inside leg, he'll count, rather than checking it, he'll counter by throwing a 1-2 overhand over the top. It's pretty good. Now Tucker is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Renzo Gracie. He's had some success in the UFC, especially with his rear naked choke. His striking is quite good because he doesn't mind getting taken down. He is dangerous in striking, but one thing he does go for, he does chew up the inside leg. Goes back to what I was saying. Now, I'm going to take Lopez here for that reason. I do think that he's slightly more explosive on the feet. If it goes to the ground, I do think Tucker's probably the better grappler, but I think on the feet, if Tucker goes for that inside leg kick, I think he's going to get countered with those hooks left and right, and I think he gets put away. I'm going to take Lopez by knockout. And you've got Dustin Jacoby taking on Kennedy Nzechukwu. This 205-pound division, 6'3", plays 6'5", with a 7-inch reach for Nzechukwu. Now Jacoby, he's a big solid 205er. He is. He can be a little static. He just stays a little flat-footed sometimes. Some fighters do take advantage of that. Now, Nzechukwu, he is an absolute killer. He beat Carlos Olberg, for God's sake. That's impressive. Carlos Olberg is the 205-pound kickboxer out of City Kickboxing. The Israel Adesanya camp. All those guys, and Olberg's very, very good. So the fact that he knocked him out, that's very, very impressive. Nzechukwu is also very big for the division. 6'5" is huge. He's got very explosive power. He's got great knees up the middle. He's very hard to beat, and I don't think he gets beaten here. I'm going to take the knockout for Nzechukwu. For me, that's what I'm thinking. So then you've got Jessica Andrade taking on Tatiana Suarez in the ladies strawweight division. 5'1", plays 5'4". 5'5", sorry, with a 4-inch reach for Suarez. Now, Andrade, she's a very skilled fighter. We've seen her. She's a former champion. She uses brute force, and watched the slam over Nami Younes for that. But she's kind of refined herself in recent years, gone down a couple of weight classes, and she uses a bit more speed, a bit more kind of skill. She's still very, very dangerous in every area, honestly. She did go on a bit of a tear. She's lost 2 in a row now, but she's facing another killer in Tatiana Suarez. Now, Tatiana Suarez, she took a long time off, but she has beaten, during her first stint, she beat fighters like Alexa Grasso, and that's hard to do, right? Alexa Grasso is the champion right now. She just beat Valentina Shevchenko. That's the kind of resume that Tatiana Suarez has. She's also unbeaten at 10-0, right? There's a reason for that. She is good everywhere. She's very, very skilled. I'm going to take Suarez here. Undefeated. She's undefeated for a reason. Although Andrade is probably going to be the best person that she's fought in a little while. It'll be an interesting one. Then you've got the main event. Corey Sandhagen taking on Rob Font. This is in the bantamweight division, 135ers. You've got 5'11", playing 5'8", with a 1.5 inch reach for Font. Sandhagen, he's been on the cusp of bantamweight glory for a while now. He kind of takes one step forward, has 2 steps back. It's kind of frustrating, but his fighting style is very, very fun to watch. He's got good knees up the middle. He really tries to finish fights. He's got good striking, good power, and he's just found his way on the losing end of a couple of decisions here and there. A couple of them were dubious as well. The one against Dillashaw, I wasn't sure about that one. I thought he seemed to piece Dillashaw up a bit. Either way, Font, he's part of the New England cartel, or at least he was. I think he's changed camps now anyway. He's got really good boxing, excellent power. I thought Yanez was going to give him some trouble in his last fight, and he didn't. He sparked him out cold. In boxing range, Rob Font is one of the most dangerous people at 135 pounds. He really, really is. So for me, on paper, this is a very, very close fight. I do feel like in kicking range, Sandhagen probably has the advantage. In boxing range, I feel like the advantage has to go to Font. Screw it, coin flip, I'm taking Rob Font. I'm taking Rob Font to get it into boxing range and find the knockout, because Rob Font he's got that much power in his hands. He is that dangerous. Really fun main event, very fun card, if not a little bit of a come down from UFC 291, but it's always the case when you get these huge numbered events. And then but like, look, it's in Nashville. That's going to be a fun time. Going to a live UFC event in Nashville and then going out into the honky tonks and that'd be a great time, because I love Nashville. I've been there a couple of times. It's one of my favourite cities on earth. Great fried chicken, the Nashville hot chicken, Hattie B's. Hattie B's is delicious. I can imagine going to this fight card is going to be tremendous, because you go get yourself a Hattie B's, go watch the fights, and then go out, have a few beers at like go see a country band. Damn, that sounds like a good time. That sounds like a great time. And yeah, I hope you enjoy watching this. We'll recap all these bets, all these fights later on next week. Until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.